Well, good evening, everybody. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
It's a beautiful day. I have been super busy. I just got home, so you guys are going to have to pardon the suit, and please don't hold it against me. But I will tell you guys that we got up here, and I had made the joke to my beautiful bride. I said, hey, I'm all, dressed up today. You're going to have to, fight back the ladies because I'm a pretty good looking guy. And she said, and I quote, and she did this face expression. She went, I ain't worried about it. way to build a guy's confidence.
I didn't mean to not.
Did you mean to?
I didn't even put that in my mind. I didn't.
So what you're saying is my confidence not in your mind? It's not important to you?
It was in the top of my mind.
So it's not important.
Not right that second. No.
So it's not.
I was thinking.
Okay, so you're not concerned about my confidence.
I have never needed to boost your confidence. You've never needed a attaboy.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's say some hellos tonight. Farm Ranch Homestead, good evening to you. First in the house, Banquet of Consequences. Maybe in or out, but says internet is spotty. The Terminator is in the house. Happy Friday to you. A free day to you as well. Gizmo, welcome. Bessie, Louise, how are you, my friend? Starla Doak, how are you? Gypsy 19's in the house. We have royalty. The king himself is here. ACM Homestead is. How are you guys? I hope everything worked out and you got everything figured out. Vicky Pullen, good evening to you. Oh, my goodness. The famous Silver Lining is in the house.
Hello, friend.
Yep, one step closer. How are you, my friend? Let's keep going. Rick, good evening to you. Eagle Lover, good evening to you. Thanks for the link earlier. If we get the chance, we'll talk about it tonight a little bit. What do we got? Lisa. Me and B, prior to going live, Lisa, tonight, we're trying to figure out how to pronounce your last name. And I think we've agreed that it's Schiedmeyer. But we would love a correction if that's not the case. But Lisa, welcome. Lika, did you hear me?
Lika.
Oh my God, it's been a long day, you guys. Jane Badden's in the house. Good evening to you. Carrie Davis, how are you, my friend? And the greatest name on the internet. Yep. The famous LJC is in the house. See Radio Made Easy. Hey, welcome. Karen, welcome to you as well. Glad you're here. David, good evening to you. One more rock. I know, so I'm all spiffy, right? Look at that. I'm all spiffy. I would much rather be in a pair of shorts, I can assure you.
You're all laid back with your collar open.
Yeah, a little bit, right? Nidos is in the house. Good evening to you, my friends. Cheryl Seller, good evening. Hakesraz 54, good evening to you. Oh my goodness, the famous American Roots Farm is in the house.
Hello.
Hello, and Will Be Cool is here as well. Miley Mason, hello. Stan Guthrie. Good to see you. Mary Michelle, good to see you as well. Pack Rat, what's up, my friend? Midwest Ribeye. Oh my goodness, I think I might be at the bottom. Yep. Good evening to you as well. Yeah, it was a good week. I had guys, I've had a very interesting run. I've spent the last 90 days of my life dedicated to. Gotta be careful exactly how I say it.
Putting out fires?
No, dedicated to overcoming an injustice, and spent a lot of time with attorneys. Spent the last 90 days actually, and a lot of that came to the conclusion today, and so justice was served. So I'm pretty excited about that, but I'm tired. I'm wore out. I haven't spent the time on my homestead as I should, nor have I spent time on the other businesses that are out there that I could be affecting. But the good news is, it's a brand new day, and I'm super excited about that.
Yeah.
Hey, Sharpshooter, what's up, buddy?
And you have a new look.
Oh yeah, so guys, tell you something funny. So you guys will love this. So last night I was in the shower, and so typically when I got to put a suit on the next day, what I do is the night before I get in the shower, I shave my neck, right, and I trim my beard and I trim my eyebrows and I just clean up. And so I had my head all wrapped around a Kansas statute. So there's a statute out there, 176501. And so anyway, I was in the shower and I was thinking about this, and I'm just working myself through it because I knew that I was going to be in this meeting today. So in my shower, I have a little razor, and it's got a guard on it. And it's what I trim all my beard
It's like a trimmer.
Yeah, it's like a trimmer. So nothing big, right? So anyway, I'm just in thought. I grab it, I turn it on, and I go up my cheek. Well, I didn't have the guard on, so I put a stripe up my cheek. The night before, I'm supposed to be in a meeting. So as you can tell, I shaved both sides because
Bethany!
Yeah.
He's like, here, you gotta fix that. You gotta fix that. And I'm like, it's bald. It's bald. What do you want me to do? And he goes,
Yep.
Just never mind.
Hey, Skane's girl's in the house. Hey, I've been thinking about you a lot lately. I hope all is well. Dorothy Holloway, good evening to you as well. Okay, so Lisa says, long I both times. Starts like the word shy. Okay, so Scheibmeier. Okay, cool. We're going to try to remember that. I'm not great at those kinds of things, but we're going to take care of it. Chris White, good evening to you. Says, B, who's your guest? Why don't you tell him who your guest is? She cares so much about my confidence.
What are you talking about?
Oh, goodness. Tom Shivel says, I'm in the house. Please, you keep on keeping on. Or we're going to keep on keeping on. I can assure you of that. You see, Songs of Joy, good evening to you. Hacks for the homesteaders in the house. Good to see you, bud. We just talked a little bit earlier today about getting him on a video, which would be pretty cool.
Sharpshooter?
Yep. Wow, tagging astute, says Starla. I know, right? Look at that. Don't hold it against me. I don't wear them much anymore, and I used to wear them every single day. But now I wear them maybe once a week, or is that about right? Typically? Maybe something like that. Anyway, so let's get rolling tonight, guys. I thought we would do something very different tonight. Bee's got a few things that she wants to talk about, but I also thought what we would share with you guys is, one, what are our plans for 2024, and kind of how we go through the process, because there's two of us and there's two opinions, right? And how do we navigate through that process of what should be done and based upon what criteria? And so we're going to go and go through that with you guys tonight. So I think it's pretty cool. Miley says, tag makes you look like you lost weight. Yeah, thank you. So you're telling me my beard makes me look fat, Miley?
Well, it was probably just puffier, like.
Yeah. Yep. Starla says, Southern Border's getting interesting in November on the ballot for Texas to secede. Yeah, there's a lot going on down there. And if we get time, we'll kind of talk about that a little bit, kind of at the end. It's like seeing somebody outside of work. They look strange for a minute. Is he saying I look strange, Jess?
It's just nobody's used to you looking like that.
Yep, like getting a barrel of honey.
Clean.
Yeah, the joke around the office is, are you going to see your PO? Yeah. No, I'm not. In fact, I can't. Yeah.
That took me a second. But I got it.
MJ from Wisconsin's in the house, as is Rhonda Benefield. Good evening to you as well. I think I got through them all. Okay, cool.
That's
all right, so what's first? You want to talk
I'm going to write that one down. Yeah. That's going to be funny.
So before we get to our goals, B, if you guys seen in the thumbnail, got a new tool. So she had said to me one day, she had said, hey, my vacuum, she don't like it because it's battery powered and it gets like 15 minutes of vacuuming.
I get 20 minutes of vacuum time and then it takes 4 hours to charge.
And 4 hours to charge. And she don't like that. Because we live off grid and because we live in solar, I don't like to do a lot of plug-in things. I like the battery powered stuff because then no matter what's going on, I pull it off, right? And it's charged and off we go.
Yeah.
And so B says, I really need to improve on this. And so she has a birthday coming up. So all you guys know this next week, my beautiful bride will be 29. And right?
Yes.
Okay. See,
one more time.
And so I went out and bought her a Milwaukee vacuum. So a beautiful red battery powered vacuum. And I didn't intend for her to see it yet because it's not her birthday yet. But
it came in the mail.
It came in the mail and it said right on it, Milwaukee vacuum. I thought, okay, it's going to come in a box. I'm going to go wrap it, blah, 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 blah. But
yeah.
So talk about your vacuum.
So now I get to have batteries. No, he's going to be like, where are all my batteries? And I'm going to be like, sorry. Yes, it was, it's heavier than my other one, but I have not ran a battery out yet. And I vacuumed the whole house. So it was quite a bit different. So,
yeah.
And I didn't use that comes with multiple attachments, of course, but on my other vacuum, I had the bar that turns. You can turn that on or off. And this one, it's either the head with the bar that turns or the head without the bar. So I learned that my rugs do not like the rugs that are at the door do not like the vacuum. The vacuum does not like them. So I have to use the non-spinny one. And then it's a good sucker.
It's a good sucker.
Yeah, I was able to go all the way up the stairs. It's a little bit it's quite a bit heavier, but I'm also carrying around these massive batteries. I guess I could use the smaller battery, but then it would die faster. But
yeah. Speaking of 2024, Scarlet Oak says plans for 2024 is to build community, which should be all of our goals,
beautiful.
Right? All of our goals. Finish my infrastructure, grow 1,400 pounds of vegetables, build up my security, and thanks to Tag, put in solar and a biogas system to cook with, and 30,000 gallons of rainwater. What amazing goals to have, you know. Hey, Troy Sutton, I want to welcome you. Good evening. Leather Homestead's in the house. How are you, my friend? Down to make sure I miss nobody. Yeah, we're good to go. So let's talk about our goals real quick.
Yeah. So, well, I was working on something else, and you came and you said, "Hey, what do you think of goals for 2024? Why don't you think of your top 3 or 5, and we can talk about it and go from there." And then the next day, he said, "Hey, did you get a list of your 2024 goals so that we can talk about it?" And I said, "No, I'm trying to get this done." And yes, I kind of put it in my head, but then didn't really, write anything down or whatever. So yeah, no, not really. But then day 3 comes and he goes, "Did you think about your list? What you would like to get done for 2024? I would like to talk about it. It's already 2024. So let's get this list and let's talk about it." And then he comes downstairs with a list of 40 things that he thinks that needs to be done in 2024. And I'm like, okay. And some of them I'm like, yes, 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 yes. And then some of them I'm like, not even 2024. What are you talking about? This isn't even 2025 probably.
Yeah. Hey, One Step Closer says his goal for 2024 is to have a down payment on land and a contract on some land. And I really hope that that's in Kansas. And we can back it up by Redneck, who says the 2024 goal will be to move to Kansas, and we'd love to have you. Hey, Prep Rebel. Man, that's such a great name. It's and super hard to spin. Prep Rebel Actual. Good evening. I don't know why that's a hard one.
I didn't even see it.
Yeah. Well, the good news is I'm paying attention, right?
Well, it makes sense that somebody is.
Well, I would agree with that. Yeah, Karen says, Starla, with goals like that, I want to be you when I grow up. Heck yeah. Hey, Miss Ghetto's in the house. Good evening to you. Let me see here. Nicole Sawson, living for you in Tennessee, likes to condense it to a word for the year. And her daily, my 3 things get done. Yeah, I work a little bit different, guys, when it comes to that. Hey, K-Bonk, welcome. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you, bud. So I got to work a little bit different in that I try to dream big in everything that I do. And it's one of the things that has really helped me be successful through my careers is I don't ever dream average. I just don't. I'm not wired that way. And I'll tell you guys, as we go through the list tonight of the things I want to talk about, I'll be the first to tell you that we're never going to get it all done. And the reason why we're not going to get it all done is there's only so many hours in the day. Something else is going to come up. There's all kinds of things. But if I don't have a plan for where I want to be, I'm never going to get there.
Well, some of those items are not doneable in a year. They're not done, in a year, like the swells.
Yeah,
right?
It's an ongoing thing.
It's a forever. Yeah.
Yeah, Mossy Oak Patriot, good evening to you. Easy, good evening to you. See here, make sure I didn't. Okay, cool. So, I better take that one off there, huh? Problem they get away from me. Anyway, so let's talk about our goals. So again, guys, keep in mind that first of all, my goals are just my goals. They're what help keep me motivated. I get to look at things. I get to chase the weather with them. I get to decide what I want to do. We're never going to get to all of them, but I'm going to dream big. It's just the way it's going to be. And we'll get to what we get to. But it's part of what motivates me.
It's kind of like a to-do list too. So as you do them, you can cross them off. It will feel good. cross
it
something
will
off.
feel good to get them crossed off. And what's so fascinating to me as we go through our goals is, B and I are very different people, and what we view is different. I have a tendency to look at things like, all right, if the lights went out tomorrow, what will I wish I had done?
Yeah.
Right. Or I'll look at it like, okay, how can I save some energy capital? What can I put in that will make the amount of work that has to be done in the course of the day, lighter? And you look at it like,
I mean, some of it depends upon what materials we have or the funds that we have available or the weather that's available, or, some of those things have to be kind of modified by what you can do. And they're kind of somewhat dictated to you.
Yeah, this is another great example of someone who lives with unicorns and rainbows, right?
I think there's nothing wrong with rainbows.
Yeah. Hey, Cheryl Seller, good evening, says, but look at how many things that were on that list that are completed. That's right. 100%. And again, we're not going to get to all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so what was interesting to me is that, let me get rid of that comment, is that her and I where's your list? Let me show them to him how I did it.
Which list? The paper?
Yeah, just give me this one right here. So if you guys see here, this is the actual list I brought down to her. If you guys can see it here. And so the way that they're categorized is, are they time sensitive? How much time will it need to complete them? Will it create energy savings? And I'm not talking about electricity savings. I'm talking about all forms of energy, right? Whether it would be your arm muscles, whether it be, fuel like gasoline or diesel, propane, whatever it would be. Can I get some energy savings out of it? What does it cost to get it done? And is it on a fixed time? And what I mean by it's on a fixed time, B, as you guys probably learned from her short the other day, was making me a big meal because she ordered a whole bunch of turkeys.
And they're coming.
So when do they come? May 15th?
May 15th.
Okay. So on May 15th, we got a whole lot of turkeys that are going to be there. So that's a fixed time issue. And so I don't know that I need anything more for those turkeys. But the point is, if I didn't have the infrastructure in, if I didn't have those things for those animals to have a great life, that's a fixed time issue for me. And so we went down on each one of those categories and we numbered them 1 through, I think, 40 or 38. How many we got on here? About 38. Yeah. So 1 through 48. And we don't have them all numbered yet, but we've gone through them and, what was important to each one of us. And there were some things that come up that we both totally agree on. And so I just thought I'd start with you guys. So number 1, me and B both had the exact same thing, which was to finish pod 4. So why is pod 4 so important to you?
Well, and see, when I was assuming to finish pod 4, I meant to have the inside done and lived in, not necessarily the outside sited. When you were talking about pod 4 being done, did you mean the outside done as well?
Yes.
Okay. So you put that as number 1. So that means to side the outside as well.
And paint the inside and to do all of these kind of things, right?
Yes. Well, the inside would be obviously livable. So it would already be painted. It would be furniture in it.
Yeah.
It would be.
So why is it important to you?
To get downstairs. I cannot wait to not be climbing up and down the stairs.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's nice, but I also think it gives us a much bigger bedroom.
Well, yeah.
The other thing it gives us is a much bigger closet. And this is really important to me because I can't tell you guys how frustrated I get. You can ask B. I'm weird about stuff like this, but if I've got to dig much for anything, I'm not happy about it.
Yeah.
I'm just that way. And so,
yes. Well, our other house, the house we just came from, had a walk-in closet, and this closet that we are in now, well, you can stand in it, but it doesn't have as much space as the other one did. So I can't fit as much stuff in there. And then the drawers underneath in the dresser underneath, you said, take all this out because I'm taking these downstairs to fit them into place so that we can get the closet modified how we need it. And so I took all those clothes out of there and then I stuck them in totes, and then the totes are just sitting in there. And then it's like, I know your jacket's here somewhere. I saw it. I don't know where it's at now. Can you wear something else?
Mm-hmm.
It's frustrating not knowing where stuff is. And
And I think to LJC's point that I don't have to kick your seeds over anymore.
Yes, that would. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was Nancy sent me a picture of beans that were in. So she had cracked them all open, and they were beautiful, but they were all mixed in.
Yep. Hey, Maxine Joyce from Scotland, welcome back. Good evening to you. So anyway, Pod 4's got to get done. It will get the most of my attention because it was on both of our lists at number 1. And so what we'll do now is once I have them ordered 1 through 38, whatever the first one is, then I'll begin to create for myself a list of what needs to be done and who are we waiting on. Right?
Yeah. So if Pod 4 is number 1 to be done, then how come you have milling lumber as 17, which that lumber goes on the wall in Pod 4?
Because although we want to put milled lumber on the wall in Pod 4, I can have Pod 4 completed without it.
What, and then you're going to come in later and clad the wall?
I could, but this is the thing, is that right now we're trying to figure out where everything's numbered. The 17 may end up being number 1 because it's so critical to the bedroom, right?
Down?
Yeah, I mean, it's a process of kind of going through it, right? And, and trying to understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leather says goals and objectives with scope and sequence. Yep. Yeah, and so we're trying to figure all of those things out right now. We're kind of behind, but I have been so tied up with the other things that I was fighting that, that's kind of where it's at. But so that'll be high on my list. And so again, what we're going to talk about is, okay, what are we waiting on? So in Pod 4, what are we waiting on, B?
Mud.
Okay.
Oh, are you're wanting me to say me?
I want you to say
what are we waiting on, B? Me. That's what you wanted to hear.
Well, who are we waiting on?
Me.
Okay. So
I need it to be like at least 50 in there to do that mud. But I have been trying to finish up with the tax stuff since there's now like freesteading and farm and the personal and the business and I'm trying to get them all sorted where they're supposed to be.
Well, and so as we talk about excuses that keep us from getting our things done during the course of life, we have an accountant. She's organizing them.
Yeah,
right?
and he's like, "Hey, what's this check written for?" And I'm like, dude, this check was written to you." And he's like, "I'm not managing the money coming in my door. I'm managing the money going out your door." And I'm like, well, I'm glad I have this on record.
Mrs. Ghetto, thank you for that. Let me see. America Root says this helps because when you are looking at a list a mile long, it helps to then prioritize them. Well, the way I like to go through, just like I would with a business, right? And so I'll go through this list with B. We'll prioritize them, and then I'll take step 1 and I'll break it down into, okay, this first goal will require 12 steps. What's the first step? And what are we waiting on? What resources am I waiting on? What time are we waiting on? Whose butt do I need to be into to get this first job done? Right? I mean, and this just like you would run a business. And so Pod 1 is all waiting on B pretty much right now.
I don't want to be ran like a business.
Why not?
Because I've got other stuff I have to also like. I am waiting for sun. I'm waiting for sun. If I could just do some laundry, that would help. I've got like 7 loads of laundry down there waiting for.
Maybe we all have other things.
Waiting for sun and not frozen pipes. Like those two things have to collide.
Maybe it's not about working hard. You work plenty hard. You're one of the hardest working people I know. And I mean that. And I admire you for that. But it's about working smart and it's about working efficiently, right? And at the end of the day, I know you have a million other things to do, but here's the thing. This needs to be fit into that million.
Yep.
And, you get to it a little here, but the exact same thing is true for me. So we'll go on and talk about item number 2, which her and I both agreed about, which was to go and build paddock number 2. And so paddock number 2 for us is right now our animals all exist in paddock 1. And they roam around in that, but there's a part of my land we want to create another big paddock so that they have more,
grazing,
more grazing and more room to go. So in the case of paddock number 2, who are we waiting on?
I think we're just waiting on the temperature, right? The weather.
Well, me, right? But in order to finish paddock number 2, and it's waiting on me, what I have to do is create a list. Okay, I have all the T-posts, I have all the fencing.
Yeah.
but I don't have all of the steel posts that I'll put in, one every 4 T-posts. So what I've got to do in order to get paddock done is I got to get off my butt, and I've got to get steel pipe ordered so that I can put those fence posts in, right? So it just allows me to create that process. See, Cheryl says, always keep your list of what's completed. It helps keep you motivated. Yeah. Oh, this one's funny. Carrie says, B, you need to start a union. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Actually, Carrie Davis, I salute you. That was probably the perfect comeback for, yeah, that was pretty good. Haas GS 14. Hello and welcome. Let me see here. Hey, Unique Prepping's in the house. What's up, bud? Okay, so that would be item 2. So we're going to get pod 4 done, and we're going to work towards paddock number 2. Her and I also agreed on item number 3, which is to get the community building built. And so the community building is 100% waiting on me. I've got to get some excavating done because I'm going to move a hill out where I'm going to put it, because I'm going to
because we changed.
I moved it a little bit, and we decided I want to put it kind of like a berm building, right? So the back part of it and the side part of it will kind of be underground. It'll help me with cooling and heating, but I've got to get excavating done. So I'll work on getting that job complete. Once I get that done, I'll have to pour some concrete, and I have pretty much all the supplies I need to build pod 4 from an outside perspective, from a weather type perspective. I'm still missing lots of things inside, but we have everything through a lot of you guys' generous donations and donations from inside of our community. We have everything sitting there. So we're going to finish up pod 4. We're going to build paddock number 2, and we're going to get on to the community building, which I'm super, super excited about. So all of our agreeing, it's pretty much where it ended, was right there.
Yeah.
Right. So tag item number 4 I had on my list was to build the rooster run. So for me, the rooster run is really, really important because, we raise here shortly, we're going to start incubating eggs. And so, you have no idea what sex they are when they come out. Right. And so you're going to end up with a bunch of roosters. So what I would like to do is I'm going to build a 3-penned rooster run where those roosters can grow up at different ages, and they can grow up in those 3 pens. I can feed them higher protein. I can do a lot of that kind of stuff because ultimately we're going to butcher them and eat them. So last year, what we did is we gave away a lot of them, and then we butchered some of them because it's just about how much, we can, how much we can get to, how much we can house, those kind of things. Cause you don't want a whole bunch of roosters with all your hens and, and all that kind of stuff. So for me, that was the next thing. Hey, Life with Mike and Jen in the house. Late accountant meeting. Yeah. We're kind of doing an accountant meeting here. So B on item number 4, which I found super interesting, she picked the road to the community building. So the road that's going to come into the community building has to go over the creek bed that feeds my pond. And we have the concrete culverts already. They're just sitting there ready to go in. And so she put the road into the community building at number 4. So why was that number 4 for you?
Because you have people coming and going from it, and you can't have people coming and going from it without a road. They're going to be walking to it. So,
or just coming in the other way.
What other way? Is
the way we come into our house?
It's still mud. You can't just drive in a field a bunch of people and expect that to stay like that for other people to drive it.
Yeah. So if we did that, I'd have to lay some gravel, but I'm gonna have to lay some gravel either way.
Right. No matter which way you go, there has to be a road to the building, or you're not going to be driving to it. Yeah.
And I have the culverts, as I mentioned, but I don't have the gravel. So we have to figure out when is a good time to spend, $4,000 to put a road in.
Bury rock in
the mud. Right. Jochi's in the house. Good evening to you.
But I do think without a road, the community building is hard to use.
Yeah. So number 5 on the list for B was she wanted to get the lumber milled. And so I have a whole bunch of trees that need to go run through the mill, and we're going to use those for a couple walls inside the house, amongst other things. And so she had that high on her list, which, for me, I had it way low on my list.
Well, I just thought in order to get that room done, you have to have the material to do the room.
Where is my 5?
You don't have a 5.
I don't have a 5. I just skipped 5
and went right to 6.
Okay, so 6 for me would be to finish B's butcher shop.
Well, you had those backwards. It has to be the patio first and then the butcher shop.
Yeah. So
because they sit one sits on top of the other.
Right. Because the one that's on top of the other. So I have to do the master bedroom patio before I can do the butcher shop because the one pad sits kind of on top of the other. But that's a priority for me because I try to think of things like, choke points. And, when it comes to processing, whether it be the gardens or whatever it is, animals or whatever it is, we can get them into the processing kitchen just fine. But we really don't have a good place to, I can't say it any nice, just dismember, right? An animal.
Choke point. What are you talking about? A choke point?
A choke point is like, we talked about this the other night with your chickens, and that you have the capacity to incubate many chicken eggs.
Yes.
And you have capacity to house a fair amount.
Uh-huh.
Your choke point is your brooders. You don't have the capacity to brood a lot, right? And so to me, I would consider that
what's stopping me.
What's stopping me, where you got this big capacity on the front side and this big capacity on the back side and this little capacity in the middle. Think of it like an hourglass, right? So that would be your choke point. And for me, with the butcher area, we have animals. I mean, there are turkeys that are ready to be butchered right now.
You don't want me to do that on the side of the house.
No, I'd rather have an area that it goes to and where you can clean up and you've got a drain and you've got a catchment that can catch all the feathers and you can, right? I mean, I'd like to have all the equipment to give you hot water out there and to do all of those things. We just need to, get on it. I'm going to answer a couple questions here real quick. That community building will need an excavator soon, will it not? Yeah. So we're going to have to cut part of the hill away, Hacks. And I'm going to approach a guy in our community to see if he'll bring his bulldozer over and he'll do it. He'll donate it for the community, but he may or he may not. But yes, if that excavator was ready to go, that would certainly make that a lot a lot easier.
What you can use it? Are you talking about the backhoe?
Yeah, right here, the trackhoe. Yeah. Do multi-purpose items have priority? Well, sometimes. I mean, for me, it's really about what's stopping us from being efficient. And so I kind of look at it like that. But there are things just like the butcher area that would allow us to, and it's way more than just butchering animals, right? You bring in the dirty produce. You can hose everything off. You can get it all clean before you take it into your, your clean kitchen. So I would say that sometimes, or
just a place to clean up the bee stuff.
Jen says that she wants to be like Bee when she grows up. So Jen wants to live in rainbows and pixie dust.
Cotton candy.
Yeah, pixie dust and cotton candy. Hey, Gregory, good evening to you.
I don't blame her.
Let me see here. Yeah, Leather says put the fabric down and use less rock. Yeah, I've had a lot of people tell me that, although I've never done it.
That's a lot of fabric, isn't it?
Not really, babe. They come in big old rolls, Mossy Oak Patriot says also known as a bottleneck. Also known as a bottleneck, correct. Hey, and good evening and welcome, Mossy Oak. Let me see here. Hey, Glenn's in the house. Good evening to you. Let me see. They're talking about what kind of fabric it is. Gizmo, it's a kind for roads that keeps the rock from sinking. So think of it kind of like
landscaping fabric.
Kind of like landscaping fabric, but it's designed for that, right? It's designed for that purpose. Okay, so moving on to item number 6, which this is one me and B had close. She had 6 and I had 7, which I think was pretty interesting, was to expand the orchard. So this is when, we were talking about time sensitive. This will be a time sensitive issue because as you guys know, it takes a long time for trees to grow. And so the clock doesn't start until you put the tree in the ground, which is why I would consider it time sensitive. So you may move one of those up your list, even though it's not quite as important. We have lots of fruit trees, but because it takes so much time to produce, it's one of those things that would go, kind of go up the list just a little bit.
Because it takes time.
Yeah. It's funny, when we get to item number 7 on our list, this is something I didn't even mark on my list. It's not even numbered because it really doesn't have a lot to do with me. But B's number 7 was to get the gardens put in, which is something we're going to do every single year. So that's absolutely got to be on there.
I had 7, 8, and 9, all kind of the same.
Yeah. So B's got a lot of swells she hasn't grown into yet. I built them all last year. So because I'm so far ahead in the swell process and the gardens are all built, the dirt's all in them, right?
And if I don't do anything to them, they get those giant button weeds.
Yeah.
And so those get like 6 feet tall, and the stalks on those are hard to get through, even with the circular saw.
Farm Ranch, you're awesome. You're absolutely awesome. Says tag your number 7 would have been 6 if you hadn't missed 5. 100% true. 100% true. Midwest says, do you plan on doing hazelnut trees? So we planted some.
I had one. It was killed.
Yeah, we had them here, but it died. And so we have not gone back to it. yet. Vicky says that's called geotextile fabric. Yep. Half Bubble says planted a dozen blueberries, 4 more loquats, and a peach this year. Yeah, we're not quite ready to plant yet, but almost. We're getting close, right? So her 7, 8, 9 was the gardens, the swells, and the food forest. So she's going to get a new area this year with the community area that'll allow her to put in another food forest. And so it's on her list high, but it would not be on my list high because I've got all that construction to do. And obviously she can't plant, until we do that because you don't want a bulldozer over there, right?
No.
So it would take a little bit of time. And this is a funny, there's sections in her list that I just skipped, like the garden. I didn't even put a number in.
You didn't put any number in.
Yeah, but there's also things that I put on that she didn't put a number on, which would be, for example, my number 8, which my number 8 would be spring cleaning. Yeah, I absolutely hate that sometimes I feel like I live at Sanford and Sons.
I don't think that there's any reason of moving something if you're getting ready to use it. So if you go and you do spring cleaning along that line, and then you come through and put the community building up, half of that stuff goes to the community building. And then some of it goes into paddock too. And some of it I think that trying to clean that up, it will get used and cleaned up along the spring. So I don't think that you should worry about cleaning that up until it's an issue.
It's an issue today.
No, it's just ugly. It's not an issue.
It's an issue for me.
It's only an issue when stuff starts to grow up around it and then you can't see it. That's the issue.
Did you not look out there in the fall?
But it's not fall now. So everything you can see it totally now. You can see what's there because nothing has grown up around it again.
Yeah. Well, and it's not B's fault. And so I don't really want to assume that because the fact of the matter is I go to auctions and buy pallets of things.
Right. I mean, we've got, I don't know how many pallets of scrap metal up there.
But there's got to be, for me, I want to consolidate it more and more and more and get it more and more neat and get it more and more away.
You have a pallet of square metal and a pallet of circle metal and a pallet of angle iron and a pallet of I don't know how you're going to organize it anymore other than move it from this spot over to that spot.
Big Kid says, Tag, better take that coat off before you start construction. Tag Sanford and Sons Collections comes in real handy around here. I know. I absolutely know it does. And there's nothing better than something breaks or I need something and I just go. And this happened. We're working on my old truck. Yeah. We're doing some body work, needed a table to put the cab on so we can move it around. I just went and got metal and made one.
Or you just need a couple pieces of metal to weld onto here to fix this hole. There's metal.
Yeah. K-Bonk says, Tag, are you still posting properties or have I just been missing them? No, I haven't been posting a lot of them lately. I had one this week that had come up and I was halfway through the video before I finished the restrictions on the land and I stopped filming because it wouldn't be anything I think a homesteader would want. And so I got on there, but
I remember that.
Oh yeah, here's a great one. This is the question of the night. Is a tractor on your list? B.
The tractor's on my wish list.
Yeah. B and I have been shopping for a new tractor and we'll see kind of how it goes. And this is I don't want to totally side railing, but it's okay. But so what I'm working on is a deal that would buy actually 3 tractors and it would buy 3 tractors because there's 3 homesteads in our area that are interested in a new tractor. And so I'm trying to work a package deal on 3 of them. And if I can get them cheap enough that everyone's agreeable enough, then I'll work on getting that deal put together. But we'll have to see how it goes. Let me see here. Where are we at here? Oh yeah. Silver Lining says, I prefer to handle things once, move here and then move there. Nope. Yeah, that's not me. I'll take the skid loader out and I'll move everything off the fence line to another fence line because it makes me feel better. I'll go in there and mow it all, knock it all down, get it all cleaned up. Because I want a mowed front yard. I want, the stuff, and although we have mostly gravel.
We live on a farm.
I know.
You cannot have a golf course yard, buddy.
Yeah, I can have anything I want.
We have to have the dandelions and the clover and we have to have all of the things.
Yeah, David has a super great question. He says, how do you manage through all that with your emotion and your stress? And I think we're all wired differently, right? So I'll let B answer that question first, David, and then I'll tell you how I do it because I'm the master of it.
I just focus on what I can focus on, what I can get done, and the rest I just right on top of that, Rose.
Yeah. For me, I think it's really more about mindset. And, they say that, life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we choose to handle it. And so the way that I choose to handle it is I look at things, one of two ways, which is I'm leveling up, right? I'm getting freer, or I'm going through tribulation training. And when I tell myself that, it helps me kind of get, my mind wrapped around it, because guys, I'm telling you that, and this is true for every homestead out there, and anybody who's got one knows this is true. You have many failures. You have many things that don't go your way. Many things you got to go deal with, you didn't plan to go deal with, or whatever it is. But at the same time, we have many opportunities to succeed, and we have many opportunities to be proud of where we are. And so I try to look at those kind of things. And anytime I get stressed or I get down, and I do, guys, there's times I have hammer throwing moments like anybody else does, but I usually snap out of it pretty quick, because I start thinking about how thankful I am to be where I am. And, that I've got a wife who I love with everything in me. And, I've got kids who respect me, and I've got peers who, respect me, and I've got a great community, and I got all of these wonderful things. How sad is it that I'm, dwelling in this, and how, silly is it that I'm the one stressed out when I have a home to come home to, or
you're alive.
And I'm right. And so I started looking at the things that, that in my life that I should be appreciative for. And I snap out of it pretty quick and go on with my day. But I always try to think of it and remember these words, tribulation training, which just means, bad things happen. And as we go through them, we get to learn them now before they count, and before they really matter, and hopefully that prepares us, for another time. But Leather Homestead says metal will bring money if you need to sell them. I don't want to sell them.
No, he doesn't want to get rid of his things.
No, because at the end of the day, I have to make something. I want that pile of metal there so that I can do it, Let me see here. Tag falls to the seductive siren that is in the farm auction. Is there an auction coming up that I'm aware of, that you're aware of, even though you live so far away? Oh, no, I see what he's saying. What he's saying is I fall for the auctions. Yeah, I do.
And then you bring home a bunch of stuff to be mad at having to look at.
I do, but
look at all these gas tanks around here.
Yeah, I got 3 gas tanks that are empty.
If they were just full, then they would look better.
I know. Yeah, Midas says properties are high, but looking at more land. Yeah, and prices are coming down. At least here they are. At the peak of $7,000 an acre, there's a lot of them now selling for the mid fives, or something like that. So we are seeing some change, on my end. Troy says, sounds like Tag and I would get along perfectly. Troy, I love that. Love that, love that, love that. If you're close, stop by. Oh my goodness, I'm so far behind. Okay. My OCD goes bonkers here with things everywhere. I like neat and organized, but come to realize homesteading this way is not in Darren's plans. It's called compromise. Oh, I think this is super important. And same with me and B, as we go through our list, you guys are going to see we're very different in a lot of them, but I promise you, we're going to come together as a team, and we're going to go accomplish those goals based upon, the us, right?
Yeah.
Remember I told you guys early in our relationship, B told me that there was 3 people in our relationship, and I looked at her kind of funny, like, what do you mean? And she said, there's you, me, and us, and all of them need attention. And so the us is going to win in all of this, right? At the end of the day, the us is what's going to win.
Yes.
Leather says scrap metal is 140 a ton here. I don't have any scrap metal. 2 is 1, 1 is none, 3 is perfect. Yep. Amen. Let me see if I can get down here a little bit. Oh my goodness. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm behind. If I miss you, I apologize, but I just need to scroll down a little bit, or I'm going to get so far behind. Really, prices are staying high here. Yeah, they're actually starting to come down a little bit here. I've seen some change on it, and that's really, really good. Because I really want to grow the community this year. Now we've got 2 potentials that I know that are fairly close to being down here that we're working on. And in fact, we're hosting one on Wednesday, right?
Yes.
So on Wednesday, we've got a big dinner planned for a lot of the community.
We have 33 RSVPs.
33 is RSVP'd already. And so we'll do that anyway on Wednesday. So, which would be pretty cool. Let me see here. Midwest Ribeye says the Homesteaders of Iowa Expo is April 4th and 6th through Bloomingfield, Iowa. I didn't even know they had one up there. That's not that far from me. Right down Bloomingfield, Iowa. And let's take a look at it. Maybe we'll just drive up there real quick and say hi. Gregory says, around here, it seems to get difficult to get things done at our age. There are things that have to be done and things we will let go in time. Yeah, and that's true here too, bud. You know, I mean, as I go through the rest of my list, I'll show you guys that it's, you know, super big goals, but I'm okay with that. I think you've got to shoot for the stars, and I'm going to continue to do that, you know? Okay. So anyway, let's get back to B's list. So B, we were at 10. So at 10, B wanted to do the rooster run, which again, as you guys know, I had way earlier when I wanted to finish up her processing kitchen at 10. There's not a lot to do. I bet you I could have her processing kitchen completely finished in a day and a half.
You're talking about siding on the back.
I've got some siding to put down. I got one window to replace. Right,
basically.
Done. But the problem with doing that project is I can't get to that project until I get the butcher area in.
Because the concrete tells you
butts up against that building. Yes. And so again, this is why one thing ties to another, and we always talk about the ripple effect, and this is kind of what I mean. So if siding is important to me on the processing kitchen, on that back wall that's left to be done, I've got to get the butcher area in.
You have to get the master patio in first, and then the butcher area, and then because one pad sits on top of the other pad, and then the building, the siding goes on top of that.
Yeah, Eljo, good evening to you, says, can I get a shirt that says I'm in tribulation training? Yes, you can. Why don't you see if Becky will make some? I have a vote for John Galt shirt coming too. I should put vote for John Galt because Leather Homestead told me to. That's what I really should put. But we are guys in tribulation training. And I think if we remember to say that to ourselves, right, that this is all about getting our head and our mind and our bodies prepared. And it's a great thing. I think, at least for me, it helps snap me out of that. I feel like I need to throw my hammer thing. Unique Prepping says, I'm new to expos and homesteading, but I think this is my new path in life. Unique, I'm telling you, if you could figure out the technology to do it, I think that your message is powerful. And I think you need to keep talking about it, you know. Jules says, I'm definitely down with the tribulation training t-shirt. Yeah, I like that. Well, American Roots, you've gone through some tribulation training, have you not? Right? The stuff that goes on between our ears that drives us up a wall. How wonderful, right? You know, we need to get that. B's going to have some tribulation training t-shirts made.
You could put anything under tribulation training then.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm in tribulation training is wonderful. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of things.
Oh, yeah. It's very broad. It's a very broad topic. Yes, 100%. Yep, 100%. Yeah, Gypsy says, put me one down for one of those shirts, tribulation training. And dude, this is another great example of you know, people, Gypsy and his beautiful bride, who, by the way, he married way up, but they've experienced a lot of tribulation training too. And you can look at it like, oh my God, this didn't work. This sucks, da, 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 da. Or you can say, hey, this is another chapter in my, you know, book of tribulation training, and it will help me get better, and it will help me learn more and understand more. And, you know, it's a wonderful thing. American Roots wants a hoodie. Oh. Yeah. Back in a few, got to go take my son out to potty. That's important. Yeah. American Roots wants one. Yeah. Patience comes from tribulation. Oh, so much growth comes from it, right? They say that out of our comfort zone is the only place we grow. And so, you know, my job in our community is to get everybody uncomfortable, and their job's to get me uncomfortable, and my job's to make my wife uncomfortable. And if I can do that, then we'll all, you know, totally grow. So anyway, so where are we at? We're at number 10, right? So 11 on B's list is she wants me to get in paddock 3. So we're going to divide our property up into a whole bunch of paddocks. I don't think paddock 3 should even be on the list hardly this year, because if I can get you 2, we're in pretty good shape, but she'd like to get 3 also up there as well. 11 for me, we got down here, was to repair the rainwater system that B broke. Right? Did you break a rainwater system?
I was thinking paddock 3 was like this way, coming this way. So like this side of the fence.
Mm-hmm. It is. But putting a paddock around our house where we lived, where no animals live, is not high on my priority.
It would keep our dogs from going that way.
Yeah, maybe.
You think they would run down the property line and then go around and then go?
Yeah, then they would just go that way.
You know, they got 40 acres that way. I'm sure they'd get tired before they got to somebody else's property.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Troy says, I'm presently building a 2026 American Tour military Deuce half camper truck. Oh, cool. To travel 2026. meet and greets across the country. Oh, super cool. Well, I'm sure we'll run into. I do a lot of festivals through the year.
That'd be kind of cool to see.
Yeah, super cool. Yep, super cool. Let me see. If we are not tested, we won't grow and we won't get better. 100% true. Yeah, Gypsy says, "Where's the new barn going?" Yeah, so
we're
we even talk about barn yet?
We're kind of playing with that.
Yeah, so we're going to get to barn. Actually, what's interesting is B and I both had barn at 18. We'll talk about that when we get there. So we were at 11. So 12, B had the cow kitchen. And you guys, it sounds weird to call it a cow kitchen, but out where our cows are now, I bought her a stainless steel sink at an auction, and she wants me to put it in, get some water running to it. So what she can do is wash out the chicken bowls, the chicken waterers, just give her some water, a cleaning area out where the the duck duplex, where the turkey coop is, where the cows are, where the chickens are, where the geese are and the guineas are and all that.
Brooders.
Yeah.
The babies.
So she can just wash things out, and I have everything to do it. And this is another really important thing. I may jump on this, even though for her it's 12. I may jump on it super early because it's a one-day project for me.
But in order to build that, then you're building the cow, you're building that lean-to type of roof, right?
Yes. Yeah, but that's a quick job, babe. That's a one-day job for me.
Okay, so
that's super easy process. Boom, 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 boom. I'll be done and you'll be off and running. So it might be something I move up just because I can knock it out quick. And
that extends the cow area.
Mm-hmm.
Then, right? It gives them like an awning.
Yeah, it gives them a bigger stall.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, item number 12 was clean up the community area. Just funny. You'll see this.
Clean it up.
Yeah, there is, when we built the pond, all of the trees that came out of the pond got drug up on the hill. We've been cutting them up for years now. And I've got all of them cut up now, except the ones that go through the mill. Everything else is all cut up into firewood. It's all been split. It's all ready to go. We have firewood for a long time. But there's also the piles of the stumps that we burnt that came out of the pond. Those are some of that stuff still piled up. I need to relight that, get that burned up. I got a couple big piles of dirt up there because I kept all my topsoil. So, some of that stuff can be moved, but I'd like to get in there with the bulldozer and some of those things and just get it all cleaned up so that as we have the community building and we can begin to have some of those events, I'm not looking at that.
I thought you were talking about, so the clean up the community area is just that horseshoe area.
That whole horseshoe area, yeah. Get the
I thought you were talking about on the other side of the pond where those circles are cut and.
Other side of the pond where the circles are cut. What's cut?
Where we buried the dog.
Yeah, no.
Isn't there trees over there?
There's some trees over there that need to be processed. Yeah.
Or rounds.
Yeah. See, hey, P Squatchy's in the house. What's up, my friend? Okay, we're super cut up. All right, cool. So we were at item number 12? Is that right? Yep, was the community building. So 13 for B was the processing kitchen, which for me it was 10. So this is another great example of how they're pretty close. So her and I are going to be able to come to an agreement on this, super easy. 13 for me, if I have a 13, there we do, would be to go back and winterize the turkey coop. And so the turkey coop, they're fine. They've got lots of ventilation, but there was a couple days this year that those open soffits and fascia that's on the building, we had a lot of cold air blowing in down on them. And we want to make sure that they have the greatest life we can provide them. And I think as an owner, and I'm going to eat every one of them, I'm going to take their life that while they're here, I owe them the best existence I can give them. And so for me, I would like to get that buttoned up to at least on the north side, right where that big north wind comes in, that we can do something about that.
Yeah, I think that would also help. Would help the snow from coming in, but then too, the heat from the birds that go up onto the ceiling, and then the ceiling condensates so that it actually drips water.
Yeah.
In the winter time.
Yeah.
When all the animals are in there and the conditions are right for it. So I think stopping that will help with that as well.
B's number 14 was to finish the master patio. We're going to pour a big concrete patio out behind our pod 4. I already have the footings in. I just got to pour the pad. And again, that may be something we do pretty quick because I can't do the butcher area until I do that pad because they sit on top of each other. So
we had them about 7 apart.
Yeah, I was at 7 and she was at 14. For me, number 14 was winter water. And so I really want to tackle the issue of water freezing, and I want to do the best that I can. I've had lots of conversations in it, but I want to do the best that I can in trying to create a non-freezable source for as long as I can. And I'd love to tackle that project.
Wouldn't you do that November of 2024? Wouldn't you do that way far away?
Well, maybe. I mean, but we're going to get into the spring and the summer, and if I've got a machine out here cutting away the hill for the community building, why would I not dig the hole for the watering thing, right? Or, I mean, so some of that kind of ties together. If I've already got a machine running over here, why would I not? Oh man, I've had that comment up forever, huh?
You have to. What are you digging for the winter water?
Well, I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do it, but I think what I'd like to do is put a cistern underground inside the barn, put the dirt back on top of it, and then that way all of that water is won't freeze. And if I can bring it up through a pump and that, and be able to let the water drain back down in where it's not sitting in pumps and pipes, which is an idea that I got from Life with Mike and Jen. Had a good long conversation about it. But again, it's something I'd really like to tackle this year. Item number 15 for B was the butcher shop. I had it at 6. Again, that's something that we'd like to get done. Let me see. Item number 15 for me. Where's 15? I might have skipped 15 because I skipped 5.
You were like,
I
not
skipped
doing
15
fives.
too. Oh my goodness. Okay, moving on to number 16 for B. Was to repair the rainwater, which is what I had at 11. So those are pretty close, right? 16 for me would be to build a firewood shed. So my goal is to have 3 years of firewood, and we're already into next year as far as firewood that's stacked and stored and ready to go. But I'd like to really get to 3 years of firewood. And so, as you guys know, the crates that I use to haul firewood, right? We can take about a half a cord, put it in a crate. And then when she runs out of firewood, I'll just go get the skid loader, pick up a crate, set it on the back deck for her. She'll unload it, and she has firewood. But I only have 20 of those crates. And so there's only so much wood that can go in there. That's 10 cords. So I'm going to get some more crates probably, but I'd really like to get a open-sided barn shed thing built that I could just park all that in and keep that wood dry. And so that would be really, really cool.
That's going to create a heck of a rat house. A building with stacked wood.
Mm-hmm.
A building.
Yeah.
We stacked ours outside, just along the field, along the woods.
Mm-hmm.
The woods are here, the field is here. We just had them stacked.
Yeah,
long.
Yeah, the thing I like about putting them in a shed is let's go back. So when you cover these crates when they're full of wood with a tarp, the pack rats make homes in them.
Yes.
And then when I bring the crate to B,
hate that.
Yeah, so then it's full of rat shit.
And it smells.
Yeah.
And then you're touching it.
Yeah. And so I thought maybe I could help keep it dry and to deal with the pack rats if I didn't cover them, if I left them open, but put something over the top, right? Just a big roof or something that maybe it would cut down on that a little bit. But
I don't know if putting a roof over them will stop them from building in there. That's going to encourage them.
I don't know if it will or not, because it's still going to let a lot of the wind in. It's still going to let a lot of that stuff in. It's just not going to let the rain and the snow sit on it. Because if we leave it uncovered,
the rain and the snow,
yeah, if we leave it uncovered, then they're just going to make nests in there, and that's So I don't know, but I would like to at least attempt to put up a
firewood
shed. Yeah, which firewood shed?
I didn't put anything for that. I was just
yeah. Well, and then also I think I would add to that firewood, right? Because we've got 2 big pieces of property where the farmers have agreed to let us take the trees off of. And so we're going to spend the whole community this year. We'll spend a fair amount of time clearing those fields because we can have all the firewood and haul it home. Hopefully, again, helping us get to 3 years of firewood.
The trees are standing now, right?
They're standing now.
So that's not wood for this year.
Not for this year. But I have enough on my already stacked. I have enough already split for this year, next year.
Yeah.
But if I can get them down, get them split, get them stored, then I'm working into year 3, which would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, how cool is that? Let's trade paint. Hello, you beautiful people. Well, hello to you. Let me see here. Where are those cats you had? A wood barn cat is in order. Everyone tells me that, man. The thing about cats that I don't like is that, man, they just multiply.
You can get a cat that's fixed.
Yeah, you can, right? You can. If
that tends to stop that problem.
I've had bad experiences with feral cats.
Yes. Well, the neighbor is gone and the cat problem has been solved, I think.
Okay, so let's talk what B has got for number 16, if you have a 16.
I do.
Oh, yeah, you had repair the rainwater, so that was 11 and 16, so that was pretty close. B 17 was the dog den.
Mm-hmm.
And so we want to create a couple actual dens.
A den.
Yeah, for the dogs out amongst the perimeter where they can go into. Those dogs, those Leicester guardian dogs, a lot of them like dens. And so I've got 2 really big tractor tires that were on the property when I bought it. And I've stacked them in a pile forever. And I was just thinking about taking the tire and laying it down and cutting a hole in it, right? So they could get in, putting a piece of metal on top of it and covering the whole thing with dirt. This would do several things for me. One, it gives them a place to get in the wintertime, but it'll also be a cool place for them to get to in the summertime, right? Because all that dirt on there will stay cool. Are you going
to stick it in the sun?
No, probably in the shade if I could.
Like in the woods?
Out on the edge somewhere. Yeah, probably.
And like bury it?
Yeah. Yeah. And if I could bury it all up, then what would happen, I think, again, would give them cool, because they'd have that
if you dome it up and then bury it, then it would be like they could like sit in it, like, you know how they like to be on the top of
I don't want to build a hill. Now, getting it elevated a little bit, 6 inches, was smart because it keep the water off of it, from the ground around it. But Jules said, I'll build dog dens. Yeah. Let me see here. You'll have to get feral cats and get them fixed. Feral cats kill everything, and only feed them once a day, preferably in the morning. Yep, I'll probably take a beating for this, but I don't like cats either. Even male cats act female and never stop talking. Vicky says it's a dogapini. Yeah. Okay. So where are we at here? Dog den. So what's interesting is me and B had 17 and 18 on the dog den. So we're about right at the, latter parts of the year, right? That we agree that should be a project that we should have.
If you put mill lumber at 17.
Yeah. Which is a long ways from your 5.
So you were thinking of like doing that next, like in the fall.
Yeah. A project I'd love to get to, which I don't think we'll get to, but we're going to try. B and I both came up with number 18, which was pretty interesting, of the barn. We're going to build a new barn at some point, and we know right where we're going to put it, and it will allow us to access 3 or 4 different paddocks, so that as we bring, so B's been playing with it. Yep, that's her drawing of her barn, without a roof on it, obviously.
Yeah. With doors that open from
the stalls.
One side. Yeah. And then a main door to park my new tractor in. And then a water hole. And then a big double stall for maybe a cow and a baby. Cow combo.
Mm.
Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 individual stalls.
Big stall,
double stall, maybe a 6 stall here. Maybe I was thinking of a drive-through door. I don't know, drive-through door versus 1 door on the end. You have to buy a second door. And garage doors are very expensive these days.
Yes, they are.
But mine would be, well, I guess you'd have to stick a tractor in it. How tall would it have to be?
Oh, probably at least a 12-foot door, probably.
Yeah.
To get a good-sized tractor in there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me see. I got to figure out a recycling system because I refused to pay a trash bill and have water and sewer figured out, have electric figured out. Yeah, it's something we need to get better at, too, is trash.
Yeah.
We take far more of the trash than we should. But, at the same time, it's energy management, right? And what do you want to focus your energy on at any one given moment? And my time's better spent putting firewood up right now than it is separating cardboard from plastic, right? Or whatever. Maybe that's a bad answer.
That's the thing, too. Like the cardboard is all with this slippery stuff on it and all the tape that's on it. And you have to remove the tape from the cardboard before you compost it. And yeah, there's a lot of work to be done when you're composting everything.
Yeah. Farm Ranch Homestead wants to know what kind of sawmill we have. You know?
A wood miser.
Mm-hmm.
Lamborghini.
Yeah, we have a wood miser, and it'll handle a 24-foot log, I think 36 diameter. So it'll handle a big one, and it rolls it and flips it and all that stuff. It's an older one, but it's really, really cool. Let me see here. 1 door stall for more scrap tools, etc. Laugh out loud. Actually, you know what's interesting about this, Miley? There was a conversation inside the community about creating a tool co-op where everybody goes in to buy those, those oddball tools you don't use a lot. And so there was some discussion today about, well, where would they be housed? Where would they be stored? How would they be maintained? And, some of those kind of conversations. And I'm talking about little things, right, that are $500, but you're going to use it once. Those types of things. And so
yeah, that was $500.
Yeah, but here's the cool thing. I think actually the person that's best at maintenance should house the tools, right, and all of that stuff, so they can keep an eye on them. They know what to look for, right? They know when something's going bad. They can, so that's where I prefer it to go. But it'll be interesting to see how it all comes out. A second door for clean out would be beneficial.
To drive
in, drive
so
through.
Like drive in and drive through.
Yeah. Yeah. B and I talked about that a little bit. Hey, Amy B. Hey, welcome. You need a Dray style building. I'm not sure what a Dray style building is.
DRAY. I'll look that up.
Yep. Any recommendations for a chainsaw? Well, it depends on what you're going to use the chainsaw for. If you're just going to do light branch trimming, so a lot of the battery powered like Milwaukee's and that stuff work great. But if you're going to cut up firewood and depend on firewood, I would buy Steels or Husqvarna's. I buy Steels, but Husqvarna's a fine saw too. What's the name? Let me see here. Oops. That's a great idea. Things like a good tile saw. Yeah, just stuff that you're not going to use a ton of, I'm super interested to see how it all pans out. When we added sheep, cows, and chicken, our trash has been reduced by 80 to 90%. Compost everything. Yeah, we got to get better at that. We absolutely do. Hey, Todd, not Todd, welcome. Let me see here. I think it's a good idea, too. A good power snake would be a good addition to a tool co-op. Yes, this is exactly what I'm talking about, right? It's not something you're going to use a lot. But it's something that would certainly be beneficial, Yeah, American Root said, I just got one for my birthday.
A chainsaw. She just got a chainsaw for her birthday.
And it's a nice chainsaw, too. I know the exact saw she got. I own the exact saw she got. And
was it the little one?
It's the arborist saw. Yeah, so it's small, weighs 6.5 pounds, but it will shred through things. I mean, it's a professional arborist saw. It's great quality. Starla says, Doke, I will be dependent on the firewood for heating. Let me see here. Barb says, what about a co-op grocery stores for the community? Well, I wouldn't mind doing a co-op of the stuff that we grow, the produce, and being able to trade and barter some of that stuff around. I'd be super, super willing to do that. Sorry, a chainsaw. American Roots, it's been a long day for you, hasn't it? Yep.
It's Friday.
Oh, Todd said, I was able to get Zach some homework to look at. Fabulous. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, Amy B says, I love my Echo saw. Yeah, Echo's another great brand. Echo, I just forgot about them. I'd put an Echo up there with a Husqvarna or a Stihl as well. All right, what number were we at, by the way?
Like a top, she says.
18. We were at 18. Okay, so 19, B has on her list to expand the apiary, to add more hives. Now, she's got 4 brand new hives with no bees in them. And so she would like to expand the apiary. That one didn't even make my list. Let's see, what do I got at 19? At 19, I had the cow kitchen, which is what she had at 12, which we'll see how that goes, right? 20. Where are we at here? 20.
I didn't get up that high.
Oh, okay. So B is now done. She has not completed her task.
I stopped at 19.
She stopped at 19.
Because I needed to go back and knock them down one because I was going to add the privacy trees in up there.
Yeah, so the other ones that are on the list, and I won't talk about them in what order because she's not that far, would be things like an implement shed. I have a lot of implements like for my skid steers and stuff like that just sit in the weather, and so I'd love to get them out. A brooder shed, as I mentioned before, be our choke point for the homestead in reference to birds right now is the brooder situation. She has nice brooders, but the capacity to be able to brood needs to increase.
Well, I have the one big brooding box that you did for me.
Yeah. And it works great, right?
It's like sandwiched.
Yeah.
1 inch
Yeah.
insulating
Yeah.
board, and
Yep.
yeah, it works fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it only holds so many birds.
That's right. And so being able to expand that would be able to expand the number that you're hatching. If you expand the number you're hatching, we have more that we get to butcher at the end of the year. Again, filling the freezer. So I can eliminate a significant choke point or bottleneck, as they said, just by increasing your ability to for the brooder.
Well, and then too, now if I have turkeys and I'm trying to brood, and then I have chickens that I'm trying to brood, then I need them in different brooder boxes so that I'm not.
Redneck says tools stay at the community building. See, I don't think so. I mean, I'm open to anything, and whatever the community decides is fine. But I would really like to see where every homestead has a community building of some kind. Mm-hmm. So when we talk about community building, like the one we're going to build this year is for get-togethers. It's where we can hang out, party, do a fire, have a class, do a Sunday school, those kind of things. But there's other community members who have talked about building a library, or another community member would have the tool shed. Because I would really like to see those community buildings be part of everybody's homestead. And it just depends on what we're working on, at any given moment. So that's how I would prefer it to go, Redneck. But again, I'm only one guy, and I, definitely don't get my way all the time. So,
well, there's a lot of opinions that are involved in that. So
yeah. Starla says, tag here in Texas, you can go cut mesquite to clear people's field and let dry burns very well. Yeah, we don't have that wood here. Let me see here. It's a trailer. Let me see. It's a taller section in the center. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, with lean-tos on the side. Yeah, a very lively barn look. Yeah, I don't really want to do that because I want to collect all the rainwater for the rainwater system. So I really want one sloped roof if I can get away with it. Because again, I'll collect
like a
water.
lean-to type of roof.
Nito's got me a Milwaukee battery chainsaw, and I love it. Yeah, they're really nice. We have one too.
I like mine.
B uses it all the time. I don't know anything about chainsaws, but I've been looking at a Ryobi because everything I have is Ryobi. Ryobi's an okay brand, but it's not meant for heavy use. And so, if you're going to build a house, you'll burn your Ryobi drill up by the time you get to the end of it. But it will do the job, Amy B says, how many total hives? You have 5 now, right? Because you lost
6.
Some. You have 6 now. But I bought her last year 4 brand new space hives that have nothing in them. She has 6 today. Hilltop, welcome. Perfect timing.
Sorry, I just dropped my pencil, and I dropped my shoe, and I dropped.
Miley says, I don't think I can have too many storage buildings. Yeah, none of us can. Stan says, it's also called a monitor barn, tall in the middle with shed roofs on both sides. Like I said, I really want to collect as much of the rainwater as I can. Yeah, Skanesville has a Husqvarna. Let me see. I just picked up a nice used twice chicken pluck today. A plucker?
Plucker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trade Point says, where are you located? Well, if you're talking to me, I'm located in Kansas. You see here, tag, if you build the wood shed extra long, you can store your implements in it. 100%. And that was probably what we would do, is do a long building and use it for multiple things. But while we're at it, I'd also wouldn't mind making it big enough that I could put the sawmill in. So it's just kind of a station I bring the logs to, can saw them up, etc.
That you have to drive it through, though. You can't really.
No, you can make it. It was where it came from. Was in a building. It's long. Hey, Tag, after all these years, I'm replacing my batteries and possibly my equipment too. Well, I'm thinking of going in the ground for batteries and gear to keep its temperature stable. Opinion. Well, I think batteries are temperature sensitive, right? And so if you could find a way to do that, I can tell you, I spoke to the head guy at Lion Energy a little bit about this. And he said that nowadays, most people are storing their batteries and their systems in their basements, which would be a great place for them. Community tool building would be like a lending library. It would just be for tools. And then, someone else would have a library, and that library, you'd be, handing out someone who wants to learn how to tan a hide. There would have books in there on those types of subjects, and all of us would donate books to it. And if someone builds a library, I'll absolutely donate books to it. I think it would be a beautiful thing. I would love to build a Western town with all the various buildings in it, a library, a general store, a telegraph, radio office, and other things. Yeah, super cool. Tag, I'm almost 52 years old, 5 foot 4.5 to 50-pound woman. How much heavy duty building do you think I'm going to be able to do? A lot. That's what I think. I think we are capable of so many things. Guys, it doesn't mean you have to do it fast, and you can work at your pace. And if you get tired, you can go take a nap. What it means is you get up and do it every day, or as often as you can. You stay committed to the process. I think you can absolutely do it. Jules? What do we get here? What is a spaghetti battery? Spaghetti battery. I did not see a spaghetti battery up there anywhere. Maybe I missed the comment. I've never heard of a spaghetti battery. I cut 10 rick of wood with a Ryobi chainsaw. Yeah. And we've had Ryobi chainsaws. I have some staplers and stuff that are Ryobi. I can just tell you from my experience, they're not meant for, if you go buy a Ryobi drill, let's use it as an example, or a Ryobi chainsaw, and you're going to rely on it for everyday firewood, and you're going to live on firewood, you're going to burn the saw up, because it's just not made for that kind of volume.
Yeah.
Right?
There is a difference between the Ryobi and the Milwaukee battery powered.
Yeah.
I have both.
Yep. Instigators in the house says, I've got a 16 by 28 building already built, waiting to finish my pad for delivery. Shed to library and classroom. See, I love this. What a great way to give back, right? Okay, so what else we got on our list here? Let me run down this real quick. So we talked about that one. The dock. I've had my dock half built out into my pond for a year. It's just not something that gets my attention, but I would love to get that finished because the pond's a total recreation area. Yeah. In the summertime, we play in it all the time. And so I'd really like to get that done.
The road to the bees.
The road to the bees would be a good one. So Bee don't have to actually get on the road to go over to the bees. She can actually just use the property.
Because now I have to get out onto the main road and go around to the other side of our property to enter over there.
I'd like to spend some time in my shop. It's functional today, but I could certainly take it a lot further as far as organizing and those kind of things, which I absolutely like to do.
We're just building a place for stuff to go in the first place.
Yep. Next on my list would be the pond 3. I have 2 functioning ponds now. We had a third, but we drained it. It was a 100-year-old pond, and it only had about 1.5 feet deep of water because the silt comes in and fills it up. So we cut the dam, and you guys seen that in one of my videos when we did it, and let it drain out. But I'd like, if I'm already gonna have the bulldozer here, right, to cut the community.
You need a backhoe for that, I thought.
Well, a bulldozer or a backhoe, I could do it with either one of them.
How deep do you think that pond was?
Oh, if by the look of the dam, it was probably 8 or 9 feet deep when they first did it.
So not very big.
No, but I want to scoop it all out because then that becomes another paddock with another water source.
Doesn't that mean if you jump in it, you'll hit the bottom?
At 8 feet? Probably not. Probably not. How nice is it for you to have a pond inside of paddock 1?
I love that.
Yeah. Why do you love that?
Yeah, because they have water. Even though I have to go out with an axe and break the water open, they still have water.
Yeah. Let's Trade Paint says, do build or hire it out. I'm not sure what we're talking about. Sorry,
Rebuild.
I'm not sure what we're talking about. I can tell you the pond's an amazing thing because for 11 months out of the year, there's no need to water anything. They have a pond, and the geese swim in the pond, and the cows drink out of the pond. And, so it's to have another one of those in another paddock, I think would be just absolutely fabulous. Do you have a doctor or dentist in your community? It's good to have different careers on the community. Barb, 100%. And yes, we have doctors. We had a dentist, but a family went through a divorce, and I have not seen him in a while. So that would be something we could certainly pick up on. We have many nurses inside the community, many healthcare professionals in the community, and we're super blessed to do that. Let me see here. Sounds like Tag needs to adopt Grumpy's plan to stay home more and get his homestead done. That's a long list. I'm not even done yet, and I'm going to get a lot of this done. I won't get it all done, but I promise you I will get a lot of it done. The final things, there's 5 more things on my list, which would be to build the south block wall. I have the block. I have the footers. I just got to go build it. I'd like to finish the block retaining walls that I built out front. Now the reason I built them is to divert water, and they're doing exactly that. But I need to get them capped, and then Bee has got to get in there and get all planted in there. So I rebuilt that so she could have her herb garden and all that stuff right up close to the house. So she needs to get in there and do that. I got some gutters I'd like to put up, and we want to continue. Yeah. We want to continue on with the privacy tree planting because we have certain spots where we live. You can only see my house from the road from just a couple angles. And the only way I'm going to get completely around that is I got to get those trees to grow up there. And so we're still planting trees.
Yeah, you have to get the trees to you have to plant the trees, and then you have to not mow the trees over.
Yeah. Big Kid says, tag and B, copy me. I sunk 55-gallon barrels in the ground. It keeps the water from freezing until the very coldest days. It also stays much cooler in the summer. Yeah, and that's the way we're heading, is something like that. I don't think I'll do 55-gallon barrels. I think I'll go get me a 2,000-gallon cistern of some kind or something like that to get buried underneath the ground. But I got a buddy who's going to come help me at some point. He might not know it, but at some point he will. And that buddy knows exactly who I'm talking about too. Just saying. So he's been voluntold. Yeah. Anyway, Karen says that I have a Ryobi, great for my house on a single lot in town. Little brother has a Milwaukee for his construction job. Motor on his reciprocating saw is almost twice the diameter. Guys, there's nothing wrong with Ryobi. And in fact, congratulations for having power tools. Right? Don't let anybody tell you anything different. But I'm just telling you from experience, it's not a high volume tool. It's just not. It's not what they're made to be. But we have Ryobi tools. Like we have a narrow crown stapler. We just don't use it that much, so it's fine. Right? It's not a heavy everyday, a tool that we use. There's what else is there that's out there that's Ryobi? I have a planer, a wood planer, a small edge planer. Again, not a tool that I use.
I use the compressor all the time. The Ryobi compressor. I use
it more than a Milwaukee compressor.
Well, now that I got the Milwaukee, it's a lot faster.
It's a lot faster.
But
so the cows drink out of, well, they have a lot of sources, Big Kid, but mainly the pond. Oh, you're talking about for your barrels you bury in the ground. Yeah, I think I'm going to do a cistern in the ground, completely cover it so it don't ever freeze, and be able to pump the water up into their water bowls every single day so she never has to carry it again. B is tag a rough tractor driver, look out trees, laugh out loud. Yeah. 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 I've run into a few things in my life. Yeah. Mario says, I'm your Huckleberry brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a plan. I wanted to ask you if you'd be willing to donate some knowledge to in reference to the community building, Mario. We'll have to talk sometime soon. Conserve Friend said, I did not hear the Wallapini on the list.
No, the Wallapini is not on the 24 list.
It is not. No, it's just not that critical to the things that we're doing right now.
Yeah.
We've just other things in front of it. Like I said, the hole's sitting there ready to go. And the only reason we dug the hole is because the bulldozer
was already here.
And so had I known the community building was going where it's going, I'd have done that while it was here too. So sometimes you get after things, not because you really intend to do it anytime soon, but you got the right tool there in the right place.
Yeah.
And
that was a big hole to try to maneuver with.
Right. And I didn't want to dig it with a skid steer because it was a big hole. My experience with power tools is limited to the drill I bought to the spring festival. I'm a work in progress. We're all a work in progress.
Isn't that the truth?
But you know what they say, buy once, cry once, right?
Yeah.
Mario is packing his tool bag. Yep. Yep. For the cows, laugh out loud. The cistern to fill barrels sounds great, or sunken troughs if you like spending money. Yeah, well, I don't know that we have to spend a bunch of money. I mean, I think I can create a lot of those things, but I had this idea of putting this pipe in the ground, and the bottom water would keep the top water from freezing. But then I started realizing, wait a second, they're going to drink it down a foot and they ain't going to reach anymore. And so all I did is spend all this time and energy, money for a one bucket of water, which that didn't make any sense.
Well, even now, like when they go to drink into the pond, they have to get down onto their elbows to get down into that because they can only reach their neck down so far.
Yeah.
Before they have to get down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and that was like, how thick was that ice?
Oh man, the one trough was solid, completely solid, but
I'm talking about at the pond level.
Oh, I bet it was 18 inches thick at one point.
Where they had to get down to drink.
I bet it was 18 inches thick. I mean, the pond froze over hard enough here that they were walking on it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, but I absolutely love having the pond. So guys, what do you think of the list? And guys, I know this is super lofty goals. I'm never going to get to all of it, but we're going to prioritize them. Her and I are going to agree on a process, and she'll be given her tasks. I'll be given my tasks. Off we go.
And some new things will come up that are not even on this list that will take our attention away from the list. So the list is a guide, goals.
But it's not set in stone, and it's likely to change, but it helps keep me motivated to what's coming. The other thing it does to Big B's point here is spring is a good time for auctions and sales. Any good finds lately? So the last auction, I bought a grapple and I bought a fuel tank. That was it at the last auction.
And calf huts.
And calf huts. That's right. I forgot about the calf huts. And what's funny is I did not need a fuel tank, but man, there was this 700-gallon fuel tank, a tall stand, a ladder that went up to it,
Something else to look at.
Good stuff on it. And I bought it for $100. I mean, I like couldn't help myself, and I brought it home and I just dumped it with the other fuel tanks. Like I need another fuel tank.
I was going to say, we have 4 fuel tanks already that we get to look at. Man, there's stuff everywhere. Babe, I need another fuel tank.
I am not blaming you for my house looking like Sanford and Son. It just drives me crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it is a good time for auctions, and we'll certainly be attending them. It is inspiring. We need to do that as well. Yeah, 100%. See, excellent training for me tonight. Hey, there you go. See, attitude is so much, guys. It controls so much. And you can look at it any way you want. And I think tribulation training is a fabulous way to look at things.
Tribulation training.
Hey, my buddy Mo, engineers in the house. When buying chainsaws, consider 2. Using one to get the other unstuck is a common thing.
That's the truth.
And they sometimes break down. Have a second one. Yeah, 100%. See, teamwork makes the dream work. Yeah, and the good news is B and I, we get along perfectly fine. We will absolutely find common ground. The other homestead says, early AM, good night, y'all. If you're going to have something, you are going to have to do something. Perfectly said. Tag, I like the list method. I've started my list for this year, and it's big. 4 major projects. Yep, love it. All that yard art will eventually become handy. I know, but it just drives me up a wall. And like B, it don't faze her. She don't care. She's like pretty cool,
Well, I just, there's things I can do with and some things I can't. So I just.
Yeah, will you guys have time for Friday night chat? Oh, 100% we will. And the other thing is I'll do videos on all these processes and all these projects that go on along the way, which will be super cool too. Super, super cool.
Well, you'll get to see it along the way
as
well.
We'll all have to have a boneyard and can't pass up a great deal. I know. But it's just, I can't help it that it drives me crazy.
Maybe we should park it all behind the house. And so when you're looking out these windows, it's like, oh, look at all the beauty. And then you can look, just don't look this way. It's bad that you're driving along the driveway and everything is stacked at the driveway. So you can see just pallet of stuff. So
it's just.
Maybe if you stacked it back behind a building somewhere, then you can't.
Yep.
The only thing about that is that when springtime comes and you're like, hey, I need a piece of metal to fit in this hole to weld. And then you have to go behind the building and then it's all engulfed in sticky weed and mullein and
which way I'd love to go and lay a bunch of gravel down before I put the pallets down.
Oh my gosh, the never-ending gravel. We need like a gravel pit.
We need to buy a gravel quarry, huh? Miley says, Tag, how many grills you got? One or one more?
Grill?
We have 2, right?
Yeah, I guess. One's a camp stove and one's a grill.
She has 2 on the back deck, which she cooks in the summertime. Barb says, sell one of the fuel tanks to the community. Oh, I totally will. And I do that stuff all the time. And if someone came up.
There's been so many people who have come and gotten tanks from here.
Yeah, because I buy them a lot because, man, I'm at auctions and for some reason they just go cheap. And I'm not walking away from a nice, pretty $100 tank like that. I'm just not.
So pretty.
Let me see here. Does anyone here grow your own mealworms? I do not. I'm sure there's someone in here that does it, though. Chris says desserts make things go faster. I agree with that.
You got some chocolate. You got some peanut butter cookies this week.
I did, and they were good. One more rock says plant some cedars for privacy. And that's exactly what we do. I get every year. You go out there early year, there's thousands of little tiny cedar trees that have, popped up that we can transplant. And that's exactly what we do. And I bet you we've planted. I don't even know.
My thing is that they just get mowed over.
Even they're little, it's hard to see them. Yes, Tag. Don't you have enough land to have it away beyond ice shot? I do, but if I take it to where it's out of my eye shot, then I got to go get it when I need it. But yes, we could just come up with a boneyard somewhere and
for stuff
move it all there. Yeah. B, do we have anything similar or close to Manuka for bees? Manuka honey is so delicious and outrageously expensive.
Mm. Do we have anything similar for
Manuka for bees?
Probably no, just honey in general.
Yeah. I don't even know what Manuka is. So
it's a plant, medicinal plant.
Okay. Yeah, super cool. So anyway, that's our list, guys. I don't promise you we won't get to all of it, but these are some of the things we'll be doing videos on this next year. And I'm excited to get started, and I'm excited for the weather to change a little bit. So, babe, what
it is getting ready to change, and
it
you
is.
can tell that. I mean, that doesn't mean that we're not going to get a freeze or a snow here or there, but
no.
You can tell that the weather has definitely changed.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything, right? But it is changing, which means we get to get more stuff done. We went all this winter. We've done a lot of firewood work. So, I mean, a lot. And so I'm already probably have enough already done for next year too. So that's one less thing I'm going to have to do.
We have been burning through it.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. When it gets cold,
And that's the thing too, when it's night. Yes, when it's cold and you're up every 2 hours stoking the fire or hour and a half stoking the fire. We have been, what's it getting, 30 degrees at night now?
Now it is, which is wonderful.
I'm able to let the fire even kind of burn out and then start it again in the morning so that.
Yeah. But when it's minus 15 outside, you're just letting it run, right? Gregory says your gravel is a crushed limestone. Yes. They have river gravel there. Yeah, we don't. And I actually prefer the crushed limestone to the river gravel. And the reason why is because it's sharp. So
which is
the crushed limestone? It's got sharp edges, and the reason why I like that is because it fits better as a puzzle.
The sharp
stuff. When you got
would puncture your tires.
No, when you got round gravel, it tends to roll around and it tends to not stay in its place. Now here we call it dirty gravel because it comes with a powder on it, and then once the rain hits on it, it kind of sits in like concrete in a lot of ways.
I remember your dad put crushed brick on his driveway.
Yep, that which wouldn't be bad. Manuka come from New Zealand, says Gypsy. Oh my goodness, Pete says we were 72 here today with a breeze.
Wow.
Not here. But it might have got 40 today. Did it get up to 40 today?
It was pleasant.
Yeah, it was decent, right?
I mean, in winter gear.
Here you go. Here's the person raising mealworms. I've been raising mealworms since 2019 with the same bait store stock of $159 to start.
Wow.
Yeah, super cool. So if you want to know how to raise mealworms, talk to Miss Amy B. All right, babe. What you got on your list?
I already talked about. I need to do laundry bad. Like
we haven't had a lot of sun for a week, so.
Oh, it's been when we did have sun, the pipes were froze.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going on probably 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's good. Her day's coming because there's a big warm up coming.
Yeah, it's all warming up.
Yeah.
And now we have sun coming as well. So
what else you got?
Everything's thawing out. We had lots of snow closings, the schools, the businesses around here, which isn't a big deal for us, but when they're closing, it's because they're closing for a reason, the weather. And so that we're still dealing with some of that great thaw that's coming off. We got 5.5 inches of snow. Now that snow is melting and everything is so muddy. Just walking in the paddock one, I guess, from fence to barn is just an inch thick of mud. And then it's kind of uphill, so downhill's a little sketchy trying to not fall.
Yeah, because it's muddy right now.
Did I tell you, where were you? I fell out the back deck. That I walked out, it looked absolutely normal, and it was apparently ice. Fell right out the back deck.
She's been a little weird lately. So when did this happen?
Oh, you weren't home. I don't remember.
Today, yesterday, 3 days ago, a week ago?
It must have been Tuesday.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because
makes perfect sense.
It was Tuesday because you were not here.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, oh man. Um,
And my buddy Jonathan's in the house. How are you, my friend? And those creeks are going to be rushing soon. 100%. The life of Mike and Jen will finally get to putting in the plumbing this weekend. Groundwork before the next storm. I love that. I love that.
We have rain coming.
Yeah, but I was watching Ryan Hall today, and there's a big warm up coming. We're going to get 7 or 8 or 9 days of above average temperatures.
What, like 50s? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Like next week?
Yeah. And he don't know what's coming after that. You know, could go anyway. But
was it 50s and rain though, right?
Some rain, but some decent days too. So we're going to go through a warm up with that.
Come on, son.
Right. Amazing how you could go from worshiping, Coach, and
totally
BMW to worshiping the sun.
Oh, I look at people and I'm like, oh, look in the nighttime and they have their Christmas lights on.
Yeah.
What a waste of electricity.
Yeah. Tupelo is supposed to be more digestible and less glycemic impact for diabetics. Not sure I believe it as carbs are carbs, but maybe. I don't know. Tag, I heard something earlier about moving dirt with a skid steer. Sounds like my kind of job. Yeah. We got a bunch to do too. So, and Jonathan's been a concrete buddy of mine in the past, and we got a bunch of concrete to pour too. So put those boots on, Mr. Jonathan, put those boots on. What else you got?
I was taking Amy B's notes.
Okay. Don't do that. That's what she needs. Another freaking hobby. Let me see. Hey, Kelly Ireland's in the house. How are you? Let me see here. Big B says, we had a little community bust last week. Someone's dog killed a bunch of chickens and nobody wanted to apologize. Oh, my goodness. You know what's so crazy is that I've asked that question in a community interview before, which how would you react to, a community member's dog comes over and kills a bunch of chickens. I would be really interested to hear how this comes out. Do people take the bigger ground, or do people become, selfish and not take the bigger ground? I mean, I'd be really interested to hear how this comes out, who does what. Keep me posted on this, Big B. I would, again, really, really be fascinated to hear how you guys work through all of that. Yep, she said she finally made one. You've made lots of them. But, okay, what's on your list? I've asked out like 7 times. There's nothing to say nothing.
Yeah, well, no, I was writing when you said it last time, and then you just keep talking. So, yeah, nothing. Because all of the things we've touched on, so.
Okay. Mike and Jen say we could also put a bunch of moringa trees for you and animal fodder. The bees love the blossoms. The problem is they won't grow here. They won't,
yeah.
They're just not going to grow here unless I have to take them in and out,
They don't tolerate our winter.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't. All right, cool, guys. Well, listen, it's been a busy day for us. We're gonna kind of wrap it up here. But before we wrap it up here, B, what do you want to talk about? What's your thoughts for the week?
I was going to say to be happy.
That's what you were going to say?
I was going to say that this is the day and to be rejoiceful of it and live in the day and be don't let it get you down.
Well, I think the smarts in what you said is I think sometimes we as homesteaders or we as preppers or survivalists, whatever you want to call it, we come up with these super long pages, right, of lists of the things that we're going to do, and we start taking ourselves entirely too seriously. And I think it's okay to stop and celebrate and enjoy the smell of the air and to enjoy your feet in the dirt. And it don't have to be work every single day. There was many people on here talking about at my age, I don't know that I could do that. You can absolutely do it. Might take you 6 months when it would take a 20-year-old a month, but it's okay. And it's okay to take stock and to breathe and to, kind of sit back and enjoy it a little bit. We are living in great times, you guys. I'm telling you, we're living in fabulous times. We've got 25 states in the union who are sending resources to Texas to protect the border, which is absolutely fabulous. We've got Texas, telling the feds to stay out of their business again, which is absolutely fabulous. We have people like all of you guys out there every day challenging freedom and standing up to the man and saying no and taking responsibility for our own actions. I get emails every single week from communities that are being built all across this country. It's a great day to be alive. And there's a lot we still have to do. And there's a lot that's going to come down the pipe that's going to test us, which is why the tribulation training is so important. right? There's a lot coming, but guys, I'm telling you, there's great days ahead, and I am super excited about where we're going. And there's a lot of good signs out there. And see what Jen say. Yes, they will for a season. Oh yeah, just talking about the moringas.
Mm.
Yep. Lilu says, I'm so proud of Texas. I'm proud of Texas. Texas gives me hope. I was talking to a buddy of mine who owns a tactical company that, does training in that. And he was talking about, man, if Texas pulls this off, I might be moving to Texas. I'm like, you do not want to live in Texas. That's a little hot and it's a long way down there. But anyway, nothing against Texas. Nobody get mad at me because I said that about Texas. And under full disclosure, my state is not a state who is sending resources to Texas, although shame on them. They absolutely should be. All this stuff is being thrown at us. We're absolutely going to win, but we have to hold the line, right? We have to stand our ground. We have to ignore them. We have to do the things that we all talk about doing. And if we do those things, we're going to be just fine. And if we stay together, we're going to be just fine. So I think what you said was fine, and I just rambled off on it. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I just took your message. You can.
No, you do it well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think to the other point, B said, be happy. And you know what the greatest thing, you guys, about being happy is? There's something really, really cool that comes out of that. You know what it is?
You don't have to worry?
No, it pisses off all the negative Nancys.
If you're happy?
Yeah. Be happy.
What are you so happy about?
Right. Be happy, because it's going to annoy those negative people out there. And
it does annoy them.
Yeah. And living well is the best revenge, right?
Oh.
Right. They talk about how accept everybody as they are, which I totally agree with, but you're the CEO of your life. You get to decide where those people go, right? Don't take it don't take yourself too seriously. All right, you guys, hold the line. We're winning. Don't give an inch. I got to go. Be out. See you, everybody. Good night.